Yesterday, the world stopped when the passing of actor Michael K. Williams was announced. According to the New York Post, Williams was found in his New York City apartment, face down and unresponsive. The NYPD is currently investigating the cause of death, but sources say drug paraphernalia was found suggesting an overdose, possibly from heroin or fentanyl. This news is especially heartbreaking due to the recent death of comedian Fuquan Johnson and two others who also passed from a drug overdose this week involving fentanyl. Williams was widely known and beloved for his roles in The Wire and Boardwalk Empire. Since the news broke, we've seen an outpour of support coming from his former co-stars. Today we have our comedy hype analysts, Vanessa Fraction, Capone, and Pierre calling in to show to react to the unexpected passing of another prolific Black actor. Guys, these conversations, they don't get any easier, especially this week. It just seems to be so much more heavy. And I think a lot of people are surprised and are shocked from this news. Some of those being some of his castmates from The Wire. We have Wendell Pierce, who played Detective Bunk Moreland, and Lance Redding, who played Cedric Daniels on The Wire. They gave their response and took to social media through a video, and I just want to play that for us. Let's take a look.
He may say that he was green, but Michael has contributed two of the most iconic characters in the history of American television, with Omar and with Chalky White. What we are actually getting to witness in his young career, we're going to see a lot more, is like one of the great American actors, giving voice and giving flesh to characters that most people would have never given the same humanity to.
I just want to say from my experience, he was one of the kindest, gentlest, most genuine, giving and courageous souls I've ever met. Rest in peace, my brother. Much love and respect.
Now, watching those definitely, just makes you feel more in this moment. I want to start with you, Vanessa, because I know that you've met Michael. What was your first reaction, and where were you when you heard the news broke?
Oh, I was in bed, I believe, when I saw it. I don't recall where I was. But it was as he's a work of art, as his the people that have worked with him have said, like the people that got to enjoy his work as well as the people that have worked with him. His style, just everything about him is pretty phenomenal. One of the videos that I really liked was watching him dance, the house music and everything in the streets. Like it just, shows you that energy, the outpouring of love, talks, just shows what type of man that he is and what type of friend. I did fortunately get to meet him. He used to hang out at a karaoke spot I was hosting, BQE in Atlanta. He dropped in a few times, as well as ABFF. I was doing warm-ups for that, and they were honoring The Wire and all the people from The Wire and that. And so he was there, and just a dope individual. You're gutted just like I was gutted, just like everyone else. You know
Right.
what I mean? When you can appreciate someone's work in that way, and for them to die so unexpectedly.
Absolutely. Pierre, I want to come to you. What was your first reaction when you heard the news break?
I'm shocked and saddened like so many other people. I definitely enjoyed his work. Never met him personally. I enjoy the fact that all the outpouring of love he's receiving. It shows you the kind of individual he was. A lot of people loved and cared for him. I think he was a true artist too. Mm-hmm. He wasn't just he just wasn't an actor. It seemed like a philanthropist. He seemed like he was a mentor. He's like he was a person of the people. He would hang out with people. It wasn't guarded and so forth. And I really dug that. I like a lot of interviews I'm seeing now about people giving him his flowers. Even back then, they were saying what a great actor he was. So I'm happy for that, for his legacy. And I hope it doesn't get shrouded by this drug situation, because, he gives a lot of iconic characters. And a lot of people are hurt right now because, they enjoyed him in so many different, ways. Some people got personal. I saw a lot of stuff on social media, pictures of celebrities hanging out with him. So he was seemed a very affable person, even though he played some menacing roles at times. But I think he was really just a true actor, and it's sad that he's gone right now. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I think one of my, recently when he did the tribute to DMX, I think a lot of people definitely, spoke and was strong to that. So there was a connection there. But Capone, I want to come to you. When you first heard the news break, what was your reaction?
I was shopping. I can't lie. I knew it was connected to drugs, and I was disappointed. You know, I can't sit here and say that I understand the usage of drugs. I'm totally against it, even though back then I was a drug dealer. And it's just so sad that, you know, the things that go on with drugs. And, you know, I was listening to Vanessa earlier. You know, people go through different things and they find different ways to deal with it. And sometimes drugs throughout all walks of life of people turn to that. And, you know, it's a very sad situation, but I was very disappointed because, you know, talent is one thing, but human being is just overall to see that taken away for that reason was a hurtful feeling.
Absolutely. Now, you know, in our last clip, when we were talking about Fuquan, Vanessa, you were very transparent. A lot of people in our comments, if I'm just being honest, was really appreciative of that, of you being transparent. I didn't know if you wanted to respond. I know Capone mentioned, you know, just hearing you speak a little bit about it. I didn't know if you want to kind of expand on that or add anything to that.
Yeah, I haven't read those comments or anything. It's kind of hard at times. And you do get emotional because, you know, people put a face on drug use sometimes, you know, and it's kind of that the junkie kind of thing or whatever. There's a lot of articles, that, you know, where there's prominent doctors that microdose heroin and things of that nature. MDMA even is talked about as a breakthrough drug for quite a few things. And so it's very, I guess it's that feeling of, you know, I don't know. Like I say, it's just more people do things than you know what I mean? And so just kind of trying to understand it and understanding the fact that it's someone is lacing, you know, a drug, you know what I mean? That's what's causing it to be fatal and for people to die in the way that they are. So I don't know that I'm being able to speak fluently about it, but I do appreciate people appreciating, you know, the truth.
Absolutely. And I think too, one thing that you really brought up that a lot of people, and I didn't know either, was, you know, when we're seeing that they're overdosing on fentanyl all times, it's like you said, it's laced. So it's mean that they're purchasing it without the knowledge of it being included. Now, Lil Duval did post a picture, which we'll have up, you know, which was surprising to me, about how much it takes for fentanyl to be considered lethal. So he has a penny beside it, and it's literally like a little small piece of, you know, the powder or whatever it is that can really take it to a lethal situation. So I think, you know, like you said, you're providing that clarity, and I think that does help give a full perspective of exactly what it means when we hear overdose. Because typically when you think of overdose, you're thinking, you know, you're just inhaling a lot.
Someone's doing it in excess, in excess, and it's like, yeah, people are not sprinkling fentanyl on their joints and things like that. You know what I mean? And him even showing that diagram or whatever, it's like people are cutting it, trying to, you know what I mean, expand it where the same way they do with rat poison and some other stuff, you know, that is also lethal. So yeah, it did come home for a lot of people when they saw, you know, just what a small amount, you know, it takes.
Right. Now, as I mentioned, you know, the Wire cast members are starting to speak up. Hassan Johnson, who plays Roland Weebay Bryce, he did take to social media and he says, "Dang it, Mike. What I wouldn't do to hear you knocking at my door after church to walk to Lexington Market for that also scrumptious lump crab cake one more time. The most selfless human being I knew. Epitome of a mentor and big brother. Put me on a real life survival tactics from how to stay looking young forever to getting my whites cleaner in the wash. LOL. Never get caught slipping, shaking my head. Those that truly know you were loved us more than you love yourself. We weren't worthy. Rest up, broski." Now, Pierre, I think you hit it right on the head. You hope that, you know, he's not outshined by this drug use or, you know, just situations that are starting to come because people are going to have some things to say. It seems like he was very much well loved and appreciated in his time. As we close out, Pierre, is there anything you want to add to that?
You know, by the grace of God, I'm not a drug user. Now, my choice of drug is sugar. So I'm not saying I'm higher than someone else because it's an addictive thing. But people do it like heavier drugs, like, you know, something that can take you away just now, like boom, like cocaine or crack, whatever it could be, can take you away. Thank God I'm not into that situation. It's saddening to see that so many artists get into that. I don't understand what brings them into that to want to do that. Is it I know how rough the business is. I've been in situations where parties where they were doing drugs. I just removed myself. By the grace of God, he does not want me to say, hey, let me see what this is. Give me a little of this. Let me try this. I've been handed stuff. I'm like, nah, I'm good. And it's just saddening that some artists don't have the strength to get, to resist that and fall into prey of these drugs. No matter what I know it may start small, but fentanyl. And again, I'm not a drug user. I don't have to put it together. I've watched many documentaries on it. They cut it all the time to make it stretch. And obviously people are surviving. Maybe you got to be a higher tolerance of a drug user. It's, the fact that, you're taking something from somebody's stranger and stuff that, you don't know what it is, especially drugs, cocaine, you don't know if it's cut. To be in a position where you say, I still want to do it. It's sad. I feel bad for you that you even that desire to say, I don't know what the shit's in it. I guess it's cool cocaine. You my friend, or I know you. I don't know where you got it from, but let me try this. And it can take your life away like that. Not, like something that takes your life years and years and years. Bam, it's over. And to take that risk, I feel for people. I feel people who don't have the strength to say no to that and take that risk. And look how many we lose them left and right like that, man. It's sad.
I'm not gonna take away the fact that it is sad when we lose people, when it can be avoided. But we take a lot of risks, or whatever. And I think it's just kind of, I don't know, the way you like, oh, I can trust my drug dealer. Who's trusting their drug dealer? We all know it's stepped on in some kind of way. We're not going to the farm and it's getting made out back. You know what I'm saying? Right. I know that there's a risk that I'm taking. I know this might sound a little petty or off, but it is also a risk. We talked about this before. When I eat meat, you know what I'm saying? There's certain things that could kill me. Of course, like you said, not right away, but sometimes things are contaminated is the point. You know what I mean? And that's why there's certain people that say, look, I'm not even gonna mess with meat at all. I'm a vegetarian. You know what I'm saying? Because of the type of contaminations that can be in things. And so that's the same for drugs. There can be certain contaminations in them that make them lethal. So I don't know if I really even made a point. I was just saying that folks ain't out here going like, ooh, my drug dealer looks honest, and you know what I'm saying? Like, no, right. It's just,
I respect the meat analogy, but if I'm buying a steak and that shit can kill me right then there at the table, I'm not messing with no steak. I'm just not gonna do that.
That's why there's lots of vegetarians, you know what I'm saying?
Right, but if it's gonna kill me right then and there, boom, and we have an FDA that's supposed to be looking over. Ain't no FDA for no drugs and shit. It is what it is. You get something handed to you, you don't really know what it is. And
the same when people are taking edibles and all those things. They say it's only a certain amount of XYZ in here, but hey, you're cooking it up. You could do what you want. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm not trying to negate what you're saying. I guess I'm just trying to.
But I'm thinking taking drugs takes you from a temporary escapism. It's escapism for a temporary problem. If you're stressing out about life, you're tired, or you want to go sleep, or you just want to be away from stuff. That's not why I always
did drugs. Sometimes it's a party thing. MDMA at one time I took to cope with and understand more of my father, dying earlier than I would have,
But it's a coping mechanism, right? It's a coping mechanism.
Sometimes, and sometimes a party mechanism. But I'm not here to speak. I'm not the face of drugs and shit. Like, I don't know why everybody do. I don't know why everybody do what they do. You know what I mean? But I've done things, like you said, overeating sometimes. I'm gonna this cake up because I'm trying to escape a feeling. I'm trying to put myself to sleep or whatever.
That's addiction too.
Yeah,
you're right.
It is. And so there's many things that I do for many reasons, as well as to, if you will, intensify the party that I'm having or just whatever. Right. It's not always that I feel so bad. You know what I mean? But I don't think go ahead.
But no. But the line of taking something that can take you away like that, I just think that scares me more. If the cake would kill me right away, I don't think I would.
Right. You said if you knew that folks was in the bakery possibly contaminating the cake, you say the cakes. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying that, I guess I've done enough street stuff that sometimes, sadly enough, as you want to say, you still are gambling. You gambling every time, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just the truth of the matter. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat it or anything like that. I guess I just was saying your mind doesn't go like straight to like, oh, I don't give a fuck about myself. Let me go buy these drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's more like, hopefully, you know what I'm saying? This shit I'm taking is cool. I'm gonna take a little bit, make sure it ain't, okay, now I'm taking, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I guess it's just not that, it's not that deep of a thought process when you're buying shit off the street, I guess.
Right. And I am with this. It's just sad. It's sad that we go through this constantly. It's always, I didn't really know that Black people were into them kind of heavy drugs, from years. I don't know. I don't.
But that's what I'm saying. It's so many people. Like I'm telling you, there are literally doctors talking about, the benefits of microdosing. Those words, the benefits of. You know what I mean? And so, go ahead.
Real question. This question for Capone. You see what happened with people. How did you feel as a drug dealer? You're part of that problem. You were giving drugs to people who could ruin their life. Did you care? Because I'm wondering, what did the drug dealers care? They don't care. They probably want money. They don't give a damn what happened to the person. I'm cutting it up. I'm putting more shit in it. I'm making money. You were at one time a drug dealer. Did you not care what the community was going through? And why didn't you care?
At the time, I can honestly say, no, I didn't care. It was about making that money.
Mm-hmm.
When I got conscience of what it was that I was putting out there, yeah, I cared very much. And that's what, not only prison, but that gave me enough time to think that that's not something that I wanted to do. When I was doing it, it was very, very lucrative financially. But, you know, when you're a drug dealer at the time, you don't force nobody to use drugs. You stand there and you provide what they're looking for. There's millions of drug dealers. So it just happens who has the best product. And that's the mindset of most drug dealers at the time. It's not about hurting nobody, it's about providing. And once you see how, when crack came in, how it messed up everything, you kind of look at things a little different. It ain't even about the money no more. You look at women that you once respected, and they lost all the integrity in the world. Men too. You know, I've sold to people, CEOs of big companies, like Vanessa said, and it wasn't a thing. If they had the money, they had the money. But once you see what it started causing, and deaths and hurting other people and mothers and stealing and robbing and all of that type of stuff. I mean, that's been there way before me.
Right.
But my conscience as a Black man, it wasn't something that I went into, oh, I'm gonna just, hurt somebody. It was something that was lucrative at the time. And I went with what the flow was. And I can say I was successful for 2 reasons, not because of the money, but I came out of it alive to change my life. And I got a testimony now about it. It's not the thing to do, even as a drug dealer.
So jail made you change your mind?
No, jail gave me the time to change my mind. I've been changed my mind.
He said,
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's a great point. Got different perspectives. I think a lot of people are going to appreciate it, to have that full conversation and give those different perspectives in this. Like you said, every situation is different. We don't know exactly what was going on, but being able to have conversation with you all, I do appreciate, and always appreciate you guys for calling and chiming in. Of course, we send our condolences to Michael's family and friends and cast members and just people that were really close to him, as well as people that felt connected through the screen, because we know we can definitely have those connections as well. But I appreciate you all for chiming in. And of course, as always, we'd like to hear what are your thoughts down below in the comments.
Do you know the comedy culture? Play Comedy Hype, the game. Out now.